Good afternoon, executives of the gaming industry. Thank you very much for being there on the other side of the screen, sharing with us your time and our time with this interview, with this series of interviews that we have called GNM One-on-One, a series of personal and professional interviews with leaders of the gaming industry. Today, we have a privilege. We have the possibility to learn and talk about with Gary Eldridge. He's the co-founder and chairman of Mobius Interactive. Thank you very much, Gary, for being with us to participate on this event, this participation on this webinar.
Such a pleasure, Owen, to get a chance to chat with you and with all your followers and subscribers, and very much looking forward to this. Let's have some fun.
And as you may know, Gary, we know that you are a businessman, an entrepreneur. You are a person with lots of ideas. You have created lots of companies. So we want to go to the start of that energy, of creative energy. How was your upbringing, the relationship with your parents, and the start of your youth and your experience in knowing about life and about main
Yeah,
values, you know?
right. Well, I grew up here in Vancouver, and both of my mom and dad, we lived in an area here called West Van. It's a very pretty neighborhood, looks down over the city and so on. Both of my parents were, reasonably successful entrepreneurs and fairly well known within the investment community here. But I also had a little bit of a different upbringing as well. My aunt and uncle were in the carnival business. And so from the time I was 7 or 8 years old, in the summer months, I'd go out with my aunt and uncle, and we'd travel around Western Canada. My uncle ran the largest traveling midway in Western Canada. And so I kind of understood a little bit about what I have found is I actually understand a lot about this business, because I don't think it matters whether it's a carnival lot or a bricks and mortar casino or the business that we're in. The percentages and a lot of the activities within the business have stayed the same. So I've always had an interest in it. I almost went into the business as a young guy, and then followed my father into the investment industry instead. But I've always loved it, and to kind of give you a little bit of a background, I lived in London, England for many, many years, and 8 years. And while I was there, I did a lot of work with Newsweek magazine. And they took me to Switzerland skiing, and I'm there with the head of Absolute Vodka and Credit Suisse and Canon photocopiers. And, I'm on the chairlift with them, and I'm going, okay, so I know I'm your smallest client, but you got to tell me who's your biggest. And this would have been in 1986, I guess. And he said, well, Gary, I'll tell you a secret. For the last 15 years, Newsweek's biggest account internationally is a private company from Germany who, what they do is they resell the German lottery tickets around the world. And so I kind of understood I had that perception in any event. I understood that people like to participate in, games and be able to bet on events, outside of their own countries. And so it's always been an interest.
So it's like a combination of factors, you are bringing your own determination to create and to generate ideas, and of course trying to listen and to learn from people. What is people demanding? What are people demanding? What are people needing? What are people playing to? So how was the origin of Mobius Interactive? What was the main idea behind this project?
Well, I've been looking for a project in the space for some time, and I had a good friend of mine in Prague who approached me and said, Gary, I'd like to introduce you to a team that's interested in putting a company together. introduced me to Lynn and her group. So Robin Lawson and Nick and the rest of the group. And I was just immediately I saw it, I went, yes, please. This is such a circuit team. They've got, Lynn has been involved in the gambling industry for over 20 years, the last 12 of it in online. And I could see that there was an opportunity to build a very, very serious company. So what we've done is we've structured it in such a way that we're financing it in stages. And we financed it originally to build the 3 brands. We're now in the midst of another financing, which will allow us to take those brands and roll them out into different markets. And then our plan is to take the company public mid-June, midsummer, late fall, early fall kind of thing. So as the company grows, we're in a position to fund it. I've had a lot of experience taking companies public, and I've been very fortunate with this one. All of the shareholders to date, other than Lynn and her group, are people that are personal friends of mine that have all built very, very successful public companies in other sectors. And so they come with long-term institutional partners and relationships, and gives us a tremendous opportunity to finance and grow quickly as the circumstances allow us to.
And considering, Gary, last events and of course last year, but not only last year, because online gaming and online
Yeah.
betting has been increasing over the last 5-6 years. You were clever enough to learn about that, to know about that, and just to create this company and to start growing, and trying to leverage this opportunity to offer people great ideas and great products. What is specifically Mobius offering to the audience, to the bettors, to people in general?
Well, I think what we have is a very unique opportunity here. There's a groundswell of change within this industry. Firstly, you can't monetize something that's not legal. And so all of this current legislation in various jurisdictions is creating an opportunity for people to really expand. And what I think is going to happen is there's going to be a blending of brands, if you will, between online and bricks and mortar. It's going to follow the same formats that that we've seen work in other industries, and there's absolutely no reason that it's not going to work in this one. Right now we're seeing, let's call it 10 to 15% of our industry is online. That means 85% is not. I don't see why it won't end up being 50-50 or more. So there's a real opportunity, I believe, for bricks and mortar casinos and casino operators to joint venture with a company like Mobius. And what it does is it'll allow them to build a brand outside of their traditional market. So from our perspective, what we would gain is, for ourselves and our affiliates, is the credibility in a local market of working and co-branding with a licensed operator in that market. From the licensed operator's point of view, he's going to benefit from the millions of dollars that we're going to spend advertising and promoting in his areas. And, so we can do things like host events at the casino. He can offer special introductory offers for our people to come in and play, take advantage of his online facility, or I'm sorry, his bricks and mortar facility. So there's lots of opportunities here. It's immense. And I've seen it in other industries. And I think we're at a really interesting time in the business, and a number of companies. You can see what's happening, in the U.S. markets with companies like DraftKings. I was fortunate enough to speak with one of the fellows over there in the last month or so, and they've launched in 3 states now, I believe. And as that market progresses, there's uh, there's 20 or 30 states that I'd love to be active in. But if you look at the market um, from let's call it the U.S. border south, um, it's actually it's as large a market, or possibly a little bit larger. So we're in the midst of opening, hopefully in Canada in the next uh, 30 days or so on a soft launch basis. We're looking currently at opportunities in the United States. And so we see a market basically all in one time zone. We could reach 1 billion people, between North and South America.
So as you may know, and you have said it before, I mean, North America is expanding in terms of iGaming legalization. The same
Sure.
goes for Latin America as well. Colombia,
Yeah,
Argentina,
absolutely.
possibly Peru and Brazil. So I mean, the market is there. People is betting increasingly, and there
There's a
are a
huge
greater
demand.
number of affiliates everywhere. So
Yeah.
how could a Latin American operator partner with Mobius? Because yes, I know some brick and mortar operators are still doubting about taking this chance. I don't know why, but they are like, how much money I will have to invest, and will this work for me? I'm in traditional business now. I have to change to different digital environment. So how would you share your experience with those Latin American operators to let them know they will go in a good way in terms of partnering Mobius, and in terms of launching a new digital platform?
Well, I think first off, I personally have a background in the real estate development business. So mostly in Canada, the United States, but to a limited extent in Mexico as well, where I've worked with one of the largest development firms there. They originally had the Holiday Inn franchise for Mexico. And most recently, I helped them negotiate the purchase of land from a ejido in Cabo San Lucas area, where they have built, not me, but they have built a Four Seasons hotel on it, which has just recently opened. So I understand bricks and mortar. We actually have the ability uh, through our financial network to help people with more traditional financing as well. So we're not even opposed to being a joint venture partner in a bricks and mortar operation, or purchasing it outright. But I think more importantly, for owners that are open to the idea of joint venture opportunities, um, there's an opportunity for everybody to make. It's a real win-win-win. Uh, it's going to make it very attractive for us in local markets to be marketing with something that's already a recognized brand. They're going to get the benefit of dealing with us and the brand. Our affiliates are going to get the benefit of larger advertising spends, more support, co-branding with land-based and online, which opens up a broader range of good products for them to recommend to their client base. So I think there's a lot here, and um, we want to be part of that growth. And we're very interested in looking in detail at the South American market, Argentina. We're very interested in Mexico, and we're open to looking at joint venture opportunities wherever they arrive.
And why Latin America? What do you see there? Because there are strong operators, land-based operators. They have you have the audiences, you have the affiliates, you have the people passionate about betting.
Yeah, I
So
absolutely. And I
yes,
think that's one of the reasons that I want to go there. There's definitely, there's there's a developed industry already in place. The industry is going to go through a tremendous amount of groundswell change. And I think that even for the local operators that see the opportunity, it's one of those situations where I believe the opportunity is much greater than most people perceive. Um, um, we Governments are going to be interested in supporting this business. They need the revenues. Everybody's been affected by COVID. I walk down the streets here in Vancouver. On our best retail streets, probably 25% of the storefronts are vacant. There's our local casinos have been closed to the public now for 6 months. So the casino operators are hurting. Um, the government's hurting because they're used to having that revenue as well. So there, as we come out of this pandemic, which I believe we're going to start to see, the tide turn on that by the late third quarter of this year, early part of the fourth. Things are going to start to open up again. There's going to be a pent up demand for people to go back into uh, restaurants and any kind of bricks and mortar business. But I don't think we're going to see people withdraw from doing things on their computer at home. It's too entrenched at this point. It's almost, it's almost like, how many people have a land based or, a hard copy, hard wired telephone in their home anymore. At a certain point, it probably somewhere around 10 or 15% of the market were carrying cell phones. And now you look at it 20 years later and you go, geez, I don't know many people that actually have a land-based wired phone in their home anymore. I'm sure it's the same in your country.
yes, I still do have, but it's like a generational change,
Yeah,
and
no, exactly.
I totally understand that. So
Yeah.
thinking about the future, Gary, thinking about future possibilities, as you said, future ways to partnership and future ways to try to leverage this opportunity in terms of people constantly playing online, as you said. I think this is not going to stop, but to increase because you have youngest people and you have older people who starting to play online too because they know and they understand the possibility and they have doing this all over the year because they were at home. So I mean, the possibilities for the future are great. How about next projects for Mobius in terms of this context of the gaming industry?
Well, I think what we've done now, we're in early stages. So, what we've done is we're just starting to launch in certain markets. Because of the background of the people involved, we have strong relationships with affiliates now. A lot of the affiliates that we're currently working with, have been making money with us for, when on other projects for 5, 6 years or more. And so they know that we know what we're doing, and we know they all get, they can trust us to do a good job of making sure that their clients are well looked after and that all of our back end works smoothly, and they have the comfort of all they have to do is put their head down and work with us. And so we have strong affiliate partnerships now, and we're looking to build that, grow on it. And so it's a very interesting time for an affiliate group to get involved with us. We're very excited. Lynn and her group have done a wonderful job. They've built 3 very exciting brands. In addition to the Mobius Bet, they've got uh, my favorite. It's called Club Double. It's sort of an old Hollywood theme. We've just launched that brand in India in the last couple weeks, and the initial response has been overwhelming to it. Um, we have Aragon Casino, which is sort of a medieval fantasy uh, product, and we're getting excellent response with it, particularly in Eastern European markets. So we're looking forward to rolling out those products in South America, Latin America.
And you will, Gary. And
Yeah,
our,
have fun.
last, yes, of course, our last question, Gary Semeneo, is a tourism related question. We want to
Mhm.
end, we usually end our conversations with a tourism question. In this case, of course, the question about
Yeah,
Vancouver. I mean, we hope everybody can have access to a vaccine, and we hope tourism is boosting again and is going to make people travel again as we used to do a couple of years ago. So, in terms of Vancouver, how would you recommend that city to a possible visitor to
it's
go and enjoy the yes, and enjoy
it's
the,
heaven on earth. It truly is. Our city really, first off, in the if you're a skier, we have some of the best skiing in the world here. Whistler Mountain is 70 miles from downtown Vancouver. You can safely drive up there in an hour and 15 or 20 minutes. It's got more vertical, footage than I believe any other mountain in North America at the moment. It's wonderful skiing, great chalets. If you've got time, some of the ski areas in the interior of the province, in my opinion, are better. It's drier snow, great powder. We have a valley called the Okanagan Valley here, which is around an 80-mile long lake, all with very good quality wineries and vineyards around it. And so great in the summer, great in the fall. But my favorite ski mountain is also there. It's called Big White, and the powder skiing is incredible. So that's winter season. Summer here um, is boating. What happens is that if you look at the west coast of North America, there's really very little protected water until you get to Washington State. So, and then we have Vancouver Island, and then the interior of that, or the east between let's call it Vancouver Island and the mainland, is very protected water. And all the big yachts come up here from California for the summer. Um, it's spectacular beyond belief boating, and that kind of thing. So there's that, and then there's just the city itself. Wonderful open markets, great restaurants, good shopping, and all surrounded by mountains and water. So it's very pretty, very, very, very charming, very international. We do a lot of business with Europe here. I think it's one of the few cities in the world that really, historically, people traveled out of here to make a living. So from the 1950s forward, it's always been very entrepreneurial, and a lot of great deals get done out of here. People are used to going to Europe to get money. They're used to going to different countries. We have a mining industry here that's world famous. So a lot of people here have worked helping to develop mines in South America. We've done a lot of stuff. We do a lot of stuff in Africa, and a lot of our major financial institutions have, close ties to both London and the financial markets there, and most recently to Shanghai and Hong Kong. About like the area that I live in here is now probably 50% Chinese. And there's a tremendous international community here, very sophisticated, very worldly, and it's just a great place to live.
And we are eager to go there to visit it
We're
and
well, we're
to
looking
enjoy
forward
it
to you
because
coming here. We're going to take you boating. You're going to love it.
yes, please, please.
Right? No, it's
Well,
outstanding.
Gary Eldridge, co-founder and chairman of Mobius Interactive, thank you very much for your time, for sharing your experience, your life, your ideas, and for sharing with us in Latin America and in the world this Mobius Interactive project reality, the successful reality that will be brighter in the future as well. So thank you very much for sharing with us your life and your story, your work, and hopefully we will keep on working and talking about your company, of course.
Well, we look forward to working more with you, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity today.
And
We'll
thank
speak
you, of
again.
course, all of the
Yeah.
audience, all of the executives that have been
Okay.
watching this video and that have been watching
Yeah.
all of our videos in this YouTube channel. Of course, we invite you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, to keep on following us in all of our social networks, to keep on reading our content and original academic content like this content where you can learn about. So thank you for being there. Have a great afternoon, and we will see you soon with more content to show and to offer to you. Bye.
Bye-bye for now.